Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky's Supreme Court hears arguments for and against school choice here in the Commonwealth, and applications are open in one eastern Kentucky county to help nonprofits get food to people who need it the most.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Alrighty, it's 6 o'clock here. Good morning to you. I'm Dakota Makris, and it is Thursday, and I believe, October 13th. See, I don't usually ever say the date because it's on the screen. And let's head over to Cameron for a look at our forecast. And Cameron, it's weird having someone in the studio with me because we know Brandon's been home. So
you've been lonely the past few days.
Feels like a few months.
And we almost had Friday the 13th. It's Thursday, but we almost had Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Season in October, yeah. Well, this morning, Dakota, I hope you packed the umbrella because some of you may need it this morning across the region. Not everyone will need it, but some of you might. Here's a live look this morning over at I-75 in Mount Vernon, Rockcastle County. Looking pretty good this morning on the interstate. Up on satellite and radar, a few showers this morning. Most of us are dry. We have a shower just south of Hazard over portions of Perry County. Also a small shower in Pike County this morning. Like I said, most of us are dry for the moment, but we may see a few more as we go later on into the late morning and into the early afternoon. Temperatures lower 60s for most of us, but look back to the west. Lower 40s for Indianapolis, upper 40s in St. Louis. So some cooler air is on the way, and that will creep into the region later on tonight. Temperatures this morning, upper 50s, lower 60s. We are going to warm up into the middle 60s later on today, and we do see more sunshine as well. I have your full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Cameron, thank you again. Well, President Joe Biden signed a bill that will help people stuck with joint student loans to find financial freedom again. It's a measure Virginia Senator Mark Warner proposed and has been working to get passed for years. WYMT Washington News Bureau reporter Jamie Bittner has more on the impact it will have.
Imagine being stuck in a financial contract with an ex or even an abusive partner. It's the reality for many people when it comes to student loans, but not anymore, thanks to a bill the president just signed. With the stroke of a pen, President Joe Biden has freed people like Katie Lockhart and her ex-husband.
We should both be able to go our separate ways.
The former couple consolidated their student loans when they got married.
Of course, at that point in time, you never think about divorce. We divorced in 2018, and at that point, when we tried to separate things out, that's when we realized that we were locked in.
Locked in to paying the joint student loans together, despite the divorce. Lucky for Lockhart, she and her ex get along, so they both paid their fair share. But Virginia Senator Mark Warner calls the policy
not fair.
He's been the leading voice to get the law passed to allow people to separate payments in those joint student loans.
This will help families who've been in abusive relationships, with deadbeat ex-spouses, with folks who otherwise would have qualified for student debt forgiveness because they're teachers or firefighters or other important public service jobs.
That applies to Lockhart and her ex-husband, who are both educators.
Because of that, we both would qualify for the public service loan forgiveness.
With 3 kids to co-parent, she now plans to file for relief again.
One of our sons actually has Down syndrome, so planning for our children's future means a little bit of a different thing for us. That's where our focus should be. That's where we should be able to be saving, is to prepare for their futures.
The Biden administration reminds everyone to keep checking studentaid.gov to see what relief you may qualify for. In Washington, I'm Jamie Bittner.
Well, here in Kentucky, the state Supreme Court met in Shelby County on Wednesday as part of the plan to let the public see more of its process. Yesterday, the court heard arguments about school choice. Attorneys arguing if using tax credits for it is constitutional. People wearing yellow scarves filled the convention center to hear the arguments before the justices. They are in favor of school choice, saying parents need the option to let kids attend other public or even private schools through the tax credit program. Others argued allowing businesses and individuals to receive those tax credits for funding education opportunity accounts will take away from public schools, placing the financial burden squarely on the state of Kentucky.
It's really important for parents. I get calls every week, parents asking, when is this program going to be available for our kids? And hopefully that answer is soon.
Public tax dollars should be spent on public goods. And public education is a focus of one of those public goods that helps everyone.
Well, there's also been the argument saying this law offers a geographic advantage to those in larger cities because it does not include the entire state. School choice proponents say this is only a pilot project and will eventually include the whole state. Well, Kentucky is getting more than $4.4 million to improve health care in rural communities. Kentucky is one of a dozen states getting money from the Biden-Harris administration. In Eastern Kentucky, funds will go to Memorial Hospital, ARH Tug Valley Health Services, and Baptist Health Corbin. Volunteers of America Mid-States in Clay County and God's Pantry Food Bank will also receive some of the grant. You can find the breakdown of the funding on WYMT.com. Well, applications are now open for the Pikeville Community Foundation's Food Insecurity Grant. Well, this grant awards nonprofits in Pike County anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 to assist with food programs. Nonprofits and other foundations are also calling for more donations of food items due to an increase for the cost of living. Donations have become less frequent at blessing boxes and for these nonprofits.
We have blessing boxes throughout town, and like I said, we've had organizations that help, so reach out and let us know. And for those of you who can help, send us a donation for this program. We can reach more people that way.
Well, you can call or visit nonprofits such as the East Kentucky Dream Center, Grace Community Kitchen, and others to donate food items or give monetary donations to ensure no one goes hungry. A new long-term care facility is set to open in Bell County next year. The new center will house and care for women in recovery. Our Keaton Hall was at the center's groundbreaking and has more.
Recovery, hope, opportunity, and resiliency. That's what the new Cumberland River Roar Center hopes to provide women struggling with substance abuse.
So what this project will do will impact pregnant and parenting women, and you get multiple generations that way. It'll reunite mothers with their kids that may have been separated because of their substance use disorder.
The center will focus on providing women with recovery, but also education, employment, and community reintegration.
So these ladies will be able to get an education and start to build a career. And not only reunite with their kids, but make sure that they have a sustainable life that will enable them not to reuse.
Former Kentucky Governor Ernie Fletcher is one of many state and local officials who made the trek to Middlesboro for the groundbreaking of the new center.
It will help over 100 families with recovery, and it's about a $14 million project, but more importantly, you cannot put a value in dollars on recovering to help the families of those that are addicted to drugs.
Middlesboro Mayor Rick Nelson is painfully aware of the hold opioids and other drugs have on his region.
The number one problem in every community, big or small, is the addiction of the drugs, and it doesn't matter what your income is. You can still be addicted to drugs. 1, 2, 3.
When completed, the new center will have 52 housing units and provide care for 112 women. In Bell County, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, former Governor Ernie Fletcher hopes the new Middlesboro location will serve as an example for future long-term recovery centers across the state. A new steel manufacturing facility is also heading to Middlesboro. On Wednesday, local and state officials gathered to celebrate with the company at a groundbreaking. Founder and CEO of Flash Steelworks, Gary Cola, says he's excited to bring his company here to Eastern Kentucky.
I guess what we're looking forward to in moving to Kentucky is the ability to work with everybody down here as we prepare to build the equipment, bring the equipment in, and actually start producing a very high-performing armor.
The new facility is expected to employ 100 people in the next 3 years and 250 people in the next 15 years. Well, the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says a new access road from Kentucky 15 to the Widowford Airport here in Perry County, it's in the works. The 2022 General Assembly allocated $1.65 million for the right-of-way acquisition and utility relocation for the project. The construction costs are expected to be more than $12 million. The new route proposed would be from the intersection of Kentucky 15 and Trust Joyce Lane near the entrance to the Coalfields Regional Industrial Park.
We are tracking a few showers on pinpoint Doppler this morning, so you may need the rain gear as you hit the road on your way to work or school. Here is a live look this morning over at the London Corbin Airport. We are dry at this location, but we are looking at some cloudy skies. Current temperature is sitting at 60 over at the airport. A few showers this morning, especially south of the Hal Rogers Parkway. It will not rain everywhere this morning, but a few of you may run into a few raindrops as that cold front continues to push its way into the region. Current temperatures warmer in the upper 50s and lower 60s, 61 in Somerset and 62 in Prestonsburg. But check out back to the west, we are tracking some cooler air, upper 40s for St. Louis, lower 40s this morning in Indianapolis. So we are looking at a cool down later on tonight and a bigger cool down by next week. I have all those details coming up in just a little bit. Dakota.
All right, Cameron, thank you. Well, it's almost 6:11 here. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, the committee investigating the breach at the U.S. Capitol last year prepares to hold what it could be its final hearing on the issue. That's on the way next.